He saved the alien princess and the queen, refused to let him leave. The stars burned cold against the blackness of space as pilot Jake Morgan guided his damaged shuttle through the asteroid field with hands that refused to shake despite everything, telling them they should. His ship, the Wanderer, had taken fire during a skirmish with pirates 3 systems back, and now limped through uncharted territory, bleeding oxygen and hope in equal measure. The navigation system had died hours ago along, with most of the life support, and Jake knew he had maybe 6 hours before the recyclers gave out completely. That was when he saw it. Massive vessel drifted ahead, unlike anything in the human database, all flowing curves and bioluminescent panels that pulsed like a living heartbeat. It was beautiful and terrifying and definitely alien. Jake tried to steer away, but his thrusters sputtered and died, leaving him on a collision course with the strange ship. He braced for impact, but instead felt a gentle tug as a tractor beam caught his shuttle and pulled him inside a hangar bay that opened like a mouth. The moment his boots hit the deck, he knew he was in trouble. 3 figures approached, tall and elegant, with skin that shimmered like mother of pearl and eyes that held galaxies within them. They wore armor that seemed to shift and flow like liquid metal, and carried weapons that hummed with barely contained energy. The tallest one spoke in a language that sounded like music and wind chimes, his. Translator struggled for a moment, then kicked in. "You are human," the alien said with something like curiosity. Jake raised his hands slowly, showing he was unarmed. "My ship was damaged, and I drifted into your territory by accident." The aliens exchanged glances that lasted too long to be comfortable. "Come with us, human." They led him through corridors that curved in impossible ways past chambers filled with technology he could not begin to understand. Other aliens watched him pass, some with interest, others with what might have been hostility. Finally, they reached a grand chamber where 2 figures waited on raised platforms. One was clearly older, with silver streaks in her flowing hair, and a presence that commanded respect even across species. The other was younger, perhaps his age, with features so striking that Jake forgot to breathe for a moment. The older one spoke, and his translator identified her as Queen Lyra. "This is my daughter, Princess Maya." The queen studied Jake with eyes that seemed to see through flesh and bone into whatever passed for a soul. "You arrived at an unfortunate time. Human pirates have been attacking our trade routes. Some of our people believe humans are working with them." Before Jake could protest, an alarm shrieked through the ship. The walls flickered and the floor shuddered beneath his feet. Pirates shouted one of the guards. "They have breached the lower decks." The queen stood, her face grim. "Take the princess to the sanctuary. Protect her with your lives." But before anyone could move, an explosion tore through the wall. Smoke and fire filled the chamber, and through it came figures in mismatched armor, firing weapons that screamed as they discharged. Jake saw the princess stumble, saw a pirate take aim, and did not think. He launched himself forward, tackling Maya to the ground as energy bolts scorched the air where she had been standing. The pirate snarled and adjusted his aim. Jake rolled, grabbed a fallen weapon, and fired. The pirate went down, and Jake kept firing. As more poured through the breach, covering the princess as guards rallied around them. "Get her out of here," Jake shouted. The head guard, a warrior named Kira, nodded and grabbed his arm. "You 2 human. Come." They ran through corridors that had become war zones. Pirates seemed to be everywhere, and Jake found himself fighting alongside aliens he had met only minutes ago. His training kicked in, and he moved on instinct, dodging, firing, protecting. At one point, a pirate lunged at Maya from a blind corner. Jake intercepted him, and they went down in a tangle of limbs. The pirate was stronger, but Jake was desperate. He got his hands around a piece of debris and brought it down hard. The pirate stopped moving. Maya stared at him with those galaxy eyes. "You saved me," she said quietly. Again, Jake just nodded, too wired to speak. They made it to the sanctuary, a reinforced chamber deep in the ship. The queen was already there, directing the defense. She looked at Jake, then at her daughter. "This human fought for us," she said, and there was something unreadable in her voice. "He saved Maya twice." The battle raged for hours, but eventually the pirates were driven off. Jake found himself in a medical bay being treated for burns and cuts. He had not noticed receiving a healer, worked on him in silence, but her touch was gentle. When he could stand, he was brought before the queen again. Princess Maya stood beside her throne, looking at him with an expression he could not read. The queen spoke, and her words carried the weight of law. You saved my daughter, human. Twice you put yourself between her and death. You fought for us when you had no reason to. This cannot be ignored. Jake felt relief wash over him. Thank you, Your Majesty. I am glad I could help. May I repair my ship and continue on my way? The Queen smiled, but it was not a comforting expression. That is where we have a problem, human. Our laws are ancient and absolute. You saved the life of the royal heir. You shed blood in defense of the crown. By our ways, you are now bound to the royal house you cannot leave. Jake felt his stomach drop. What you will remain here as a guardian to Princess Maya. You will be trained in our ways, given rank and honor. But you cannot leave this ship. Not for years. Maybe not ever. This cannot be happening, Jake said, looking to Maya for help. The princess met his eyes, and for a moment he saw sympathy there. Maybe something more. But she said nothing. I am sorry, the Queen said, and she almost sounded like she meant it. But our laws exist for a reason. You are one of us now, whether you wish it or not. Jake wanted to argue, to fight, to demand his freedom. But he saw the guards watching him, saw the weapons they carried, and knew it would be pointless. He was trapped, bound by alien laws he did not understand too. A people he had just met. All because he had done the right thing. As they led him away to his new quarters, he caught Maya looking at him. She mouthed 2 words. I am sorry. Jake nodded once. He had saved the alien princess, and now he would pay for it with his freedom. The stars beyond the viewport had never looked so far away.